Well, hello, Ed.
Hi, Lori. What's going on?
We're so excited to have you here today.
Oh,
So
I
excited.
I am excited to be on. I'm excited to see you again. It's been a while since we've talked, and
Mhm.
I'm happy that you had me on.
Well, it wouldn't be a real show without you. So, welcome to Patriots Inside the Wire. Tracy could not be here today for the show, but I want to do right by you and read your bio that we have for you. But I definitely wanted to do a shout out to Tracy first. She's doing something very special and very fun tonight, so I don't want to let it out. But kudos to her, and we're praying for all good things for her, and grateful that she asked us to co-host the show and entrusted us to watch over her mission here at Patriots Inside the Wire. So if you're just catching us now, please go on to her channel on YouTube and subscribe at Patriots Inside the Wire. This will also be airing next week on 40 different radio stations, including 107.5 The Swamp and iHeart Radio next Wednesday. So it's live today on all the different social media outlets, but next week it'll be on the radio. So that's exciting to me because you don't ever know what your reach is with that. So, and I know that your message, Ed, is so important that you have for people, and you're so inspiring, which is why I invited you. But I'm going to go ahead and read your bio. Uh, Ed Stefanek Jr., U.S. Army veteran, 11 Charlie, mortarman, veterans advocate, joined the U.S. Army in 1998, continuing a proud family legacy of military service. His grandfather, George, served in World War II, and his father served in Korea. As an 11 Charlie mortarman, Ed deployed to multiple conflict zones, including Bosnia and Iraq. You also earned the prestigious awards of the Bronze Star, the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, the Iraqi Freedom Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, and the Combat Infantry Badge. After returning from Bosnia in 2000, Ed became a third-generation member of the VFW. Following his honorable discharge in 2007, he dedicated himself to serving fellow veterans. Today, Ed is a passionate advocate for veterans' benefits, using his voice and experience to guide and support those transitioning from military to civilian life. I feel like there's not even a better time to have you on than right now with the whole shutdown and all of that, where veterans might be worried or struggling, and people who maybe hadn't considered joining a veterans organization might need help that they didn't want to ask for before or didn't know what you offered. So you can tell us some of your story first, though, Ed, before you jump into that.
Yeah, so I am an associate director of membership for for national headquarters at the Veterans of Foreign Wars. I have been employed there for about 2.5 years now, going on my third year. Basically started that job after I was state commander of South Carolina, where I met you. Well, I met you prior to that through my buddy Tim Woods. Being him are both state commanders together. Great guy. Learned a lot from Tim, like recruiting and stuff like that. But I digress. So I basically did all the through my VFW throughout the time of my VFWs. I guess I'll just backtrack to when I became active. Uh, got out in 2007 trying to find, what I was going to do next. It's really the scariest thing about getting out of the military is because, it's like, okay, what can I do to maybe go back to school? Do I have to find a job right away? I got to build my resume, stuff like that. So fortunately, I got out at Fort Benning, Georgia. I moved to Blacksburg, South Carolina, which is near Gaffney and Spartanburg. Um, and basically, I went down to the county VA, and he sat down with me and he was like, all right, he saw my claim that I filed, or saw the claim that was filed for me prior to me getting out, and he made sure everything was in order. And then he said, hey, if you're out of work, you might try to file for unemployment. And which I didn't think about, because I was like, well, I didn't really, it was kind of like I figured it was kind of voluntary unemployment, seeing as how I was discharged. But
Right.
he said that I could, he said, go ahead and try. Some states are lenient on it, and some other states aren't. And fortunately, South Carolina was. So I got 6 months of unemployment, which was great,
Oh,
because I think that gave me a lot of time to decompress.
so I had no idea that was even a thing.
Yeah, so if you get out, you might want to try to file for unemployment. Not sure. Like I said, it varies. I mean, the worst thing they can say is no.
Right.
But I was medically discharged, so I think it's because I was medically discharged and I moved to a new state and I was starting all over again that they
Okay.
gave me unemployment. But of course, I had to go out and try to find 5 jobs a week or something like that. So I had a little
Right.
journal I had to write, and like I think every 2 weeks or once a month I had to meet with a job counselor, which was good because I put together my resume, did mock interviews, stuff like that. So that was really good. So kudos
Okay.
to the Department of South Carolina unemployment for getting people back into the workplace. Definitely worked. So, I started working and I was trying to figure out, okay, who do I need to talk to, start using my GI Bill, stuff like that. So I was at the time was dating my ex-wife, which is good. That's an army story right there.
Everyone has an ex.
Yes. I have a couple.
Right
So,
there with you.
um, so moving on through this story and everything, we were going to this one church and I ran into a guy named Merle Reams. He was a member in the Gaffney Post 3447 in Gaffney, South Carolina. And he said, hey, are he was talking and he said, well, hey, I see you served. And I was telling him more about it. And he was like, "Oh, are you a member of the VFW?" I said, "Yeah." And I pull out my life membership card, and he's like, "Holy cow!" He said, "I never seen anybody that young that had a life membership card." And I said, "Well, I'm third generation VFW." I said, "Like my
Mhm.
first memories are of the VFW.
Aw.
I remember." And I said this in my speech when I became state commander. I mean, I was 7 years old. I was at my dad's for the weekend. We went to the Memorial Day parade. Saw a bunch of older gentlemen marching through the parade, and then we end up back at the VFW post and met this guy named Mr. Deal, and he's like, "Hey kid, you want to make some bucks for veterans?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And his name was Mr. Deal. I don't even know what the heck his name is. He just introduced himself as Mr. Deal. He said, here's some hot dog tickets." He's like, $5, go around, tell everybody about it. So I start going around, hey, you want to get a hot dog tray? You want to get I come back with a big stack of cash. And he said, hey, he said, go. He said, see that cooler over there? And I said, yeah. He said, go over there and grab yourself a soda. You did a good job.
Wow. So see, you were recruiting early. You just did it with hot dogs.
Yeah, and it was funny because back then back that was like probably the 80s. Having a soda was like I mean, you just didn't have a soda. Like people,
Right.
it's really times are like really different.
Very different. Yeah.
So like having a soda or a candy bar back then, that was like a holy cow. So I was sitting
Right.
there drinking my soda in front of all the other kids, like, haha, should have hustled those hot dog trays faster. So yeah, that's basically how it all started for me with the
Hot dogs and
VFW.
soda.
So ever since then I was hooked. So Um, so, I went down there, I transferred my membership, got involved with that. They started me off as a post adjutant, which basically you sit in the meeting and you basically take the notes, like the meeting was open properly, all the motions made, stuff like that. And then, when it ended, how many people were there, stuff like that. And then you got what I call the wonderful thing about learning the bylaws, finding out, being kind of an advisor to the commander and the quartermaster of what they can and can't do.
Mhm.
And, when if a post member stands up and is out of order, you got to kind of know like how meetings run and stuff like that. So I did that for about a year. And then the next year they're like, hey, we want you to be the senior vice commander. And I'm like, oh boy, what does that involve? He's like,
Mhm.
oh, well, you just help the commander out. Mostly you'll be out there recruiting members for the post. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I could probably do that. And so, elections came, I got elected, and a few months, 4 or 5 months went by, and the commander had a heart attack. And
Oh,
so then they're looking at me and they're like, hey, he's resigned. I don't know, what's going on, but he's not doing well. And we need you to step up and be the post commander. I'm like, oh boy.
oh.
So, I did that kind of, just did it trial by fire, I
Kind of
guess.
pushed
That's
you, yeah, pushed you into that.
yeah, best way to do it. But the year turned out well. So at the end of the year, if you make all your membership goals and you do all your community service work and your youth program stuff, they have an award which is called All American, and that's like the highest. So at like the post level, and then they have districts, and then they have a state level. All American is the highest you can achieve as a commander and as a post district and state and department. So, um, well, that's how we finished. So I was like,
Oh, okay.
oh, so like first time being post commander, All American, and it's like, wow,
You're like, I can do this.
yeah. And it's like I don't even think like I asked everybody at the post. I said, have we ever done this before? And nobody was really sure. And one guy said yes, but then I could never find out the information if we actually were ever an All-American post before. So it was really cool. And then that year as well was the post 75th anniversary. So that was really cool because then, the VFW, you start off like at the post level, and then all of a sudden, like you start meeting more and more people and start getting more and more involved in it. So all the people from the department level and, my district commander, state commander, people from officers from the state coming into my post and just being there for the celebration. And I was like, wow, who are all these people? And
Hmm.
all this other stuff. And then, like, oh, you should go to the district meeting. So then there I am at a district meeting. And then at district, they're like, oh, you should go to a state conference. You should go to the state convention. You should go to this. And then it's like, all of a sudden, like, once a month thing with the post and, just checking in and making sure, things are getting done and stuff like that turns into, you could be giving up about 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. I mean, sometimes you could be giving up all your weekends for meetings and different functions and different fundraisers and stuff. So
But when you're doing all that, Ed, do you feel like it was helping you to stay connected to your comrades, right? Because when you're transitioning, and sometimes people, veterans have a hard time transitioning. Does it help? Is it like a salve on a
yeah,
wound?
so I'm glad you asked that question because I was going to start alluding into that. So in the VFW, we are hashtag still serving. So I never really correlated what then is to now with like the still serving thing. Yeah, it definitely. I wasn't with my friends that I served with, but
Mm-hmm.
I was with a bunch of veterans, combat veterans that did serve, and we're working together to do community things and do community service and recruit new members and just be out in the community and just be involved. So being part of the VFW has definitely helped me through some dark times. I've had a lot of people that that know me very well, that I've turned to, and they've turned to me when things are rough, and I know I got somebody I can talk to. So that's just really, that's just really the great thing about it, is just having somebody there,
Right.
or
So,
being there.
you already have a potential new recruit from this interview, from this podcast. You already had
Really?
somebody. Seriously, we had a prior guest on the podcast who just commented and said that he's not a member of the VFW, and that he should go down to the VFW and possibly join. So his name's Frank, and you'll have to connect with Frank after the show. He just said the VFW is a great organization. One day I'll head downtown and join. So there you go. Look at you already. Like,
I know. Well,
you're only
tell
like
them.
what?
Yeah.
17 minutes in.
Only 17
minutes.
minutes in. We already got one member.
Woo!
Well, yeah, tell them to stay on, because I'll definitely be putting out some information of stuff that we do to help veterans nationally. But I was about the post level, if when you alluded to ways that we can help people,
Yes.
um, the posts, all the posts have a relief fund, which, have you ever seen the Buddy Poppies?
Yes.
Yes. So the reason why, well, one is the Buddy Poppy is to honor the fallen. And also, in that remembrance, when we give them out, we don't ask for a donation, but most people know, if they take one, to give a donation. They used to
Mm-hmm.
say, the older people will say, selling Buddy Poppies, which I give them the stern look. I'm like, we don't sell them, we give them out. And then people make donations. Normally they ask, like, hey, can I make a donation? So all that
Mm-hmm.
money that they raise from distributing Buddy Poppies goes in the relief fund, which is used to help, obviously, comrades of the post and veterans and veteran families in the community. And then, of course, there's other ways. There's fundraisers, like, my post was involved in numerous fundraisers over the years for veterans and veteran families. If you're in need, go reach out to the VFW, or reach out to your local VFW post and say, hey, this is going on. They're probably going to ask you to verify that what you're saying is true, because we can't
Right.
help everybody off. Which reminds me of a
Right.
story. We had this one gentleman. I was getting in there before everybody else, getting everything set up for the meeting, and somebody knocked on the door, and I was like, wow, that's odd. And so I opened the door, and it was this guy, and he's like, hey, I served in the Army. I'm staying in a hotel. I'm going to be $100 short for the next couple of days. And I was wondering if I could borrow, $100 and pay you back, the next day, or in a couple
Right.
of days, when I got, because like so this guy was staying in a hotel, and that's just the way he lived. And
Oh,
which is, some people, that's just their way. I've been down there. The guy's got a great setup. He's living a good life. It's just that's just the way. I guess he had just gotten so far off path that he just really didn't have good credit anymore. Couldn't get an apartment, stuff like that. Um, but um, he I'm like, well, hey, can I? Do you have a? I said, I hate to ask you, but do you have a DD 214 to verify that you served? And he's like, yeah, I do. And so he handed it to me, and he put his head down. And I was like, oh. So I opened it up. And it's like, I didn't know, like, why he would put his head down, and I opened it up, looked at it, and, honorable discharge, Army, just like he said, Vietnam service medal, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at him, and I folded his DD 214 back up, and I put my hand out to him, and I shook it, and I said, welcome home, sir. Because Vietnam veterans didn't get like the
no.
welcome home
Mm-mm.
that we did, and they made sure that we did. So I've always appreciated that. So
Right.
And then the look on his face, he just didn't really know what to say. And I get it, because when I'm out there, in the field, and I talk to Vietnam veterans, sometimes it's that way, and you just gotta kind of, pry it out of them, or at least, just break the barrier and say, hey, well, I'm happy you're home, and thank you for your service.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I was like, okay, hey, I said, hey, my quartermaster will be here in an hour, and I will give you the $100. And so my quartermaster gets there, and I told him what happened. I said, I verified that he was, a Vietnam veteran. He's like, yeah, here you go. He said, well, you could have just taken it out of the cash register. And I'm like, no, you're going to give me the $100 to give to just that way. So the guy comes back, I give him $100, said, hey, look, man. I said, look, instead of coming here to get $100 from me every month, why don't you just keep this $100, and then you'll be ahead. Moving
Right.
forward, you don't have to pay it back to me. And
Right.
so he's like, he just kind of nodded, and a couple days went by. He came down to the post, and he gave me $100. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, hey, you don't have to pay me back. And he's like, no, I want to pay you back, because if I keep this $100, I'll spend it wrong.
Oh,
And so, yeah, so that it was I don't even know, I mean, it still might be going on to this day, but he would come every month, and I got to know him, and had him come around more and stuff like that. So was able to I don't think that he's living in that situation anymore, because I was able to get him to a VSO to have him do service claims for him and stuff. And
right.
I don't know how that ever turned out, because I moved on to I was moving into the state chairs, and I moved from Gaffney to near Columbia, Leesville, South Carolina. So, which is the center of the state and where department headquarters is, and made it a lot easier for travels and stuff. So,
Oh, okay.
but
Okay.
yeah, that's something that posts provide to veteran and veteran families. So, with the financial stuff going, the financial unease with the government shutdown and stuff, obviously that's a big. Even we have a financial assistance for service members to the national level, but they even put on there that you know really we only give that out if there's a pay problem. um, and because the government shut down, I mean, it would almost be impossible for us to be able to support every soldier that isn't
Oh,
getting
right.
paid. but
Right.
but fortunately, they did get paid um this paycheck, so that's
Yes.
good. And I'm really, really hoping for some kind of resolve soon, because that's a tough thing to go through. I know a couple times while I was in, it was supposed to happen, but it didn't. But I couldn't even imagine not getting a paycheck and not being able to pay my rent, because
And it's
people are, yeah,
especially
people,
rough time of year also that you're going into
yeah,
with
the
the holidays,
holidays, and
right?
yes.
I mean, like it's hard enough to pay, for what people in the military make to begin with, right? Is not nearly enough, if you ask me. But that's going down a whole other rabbit hole. Um, but on top of that, you're still Santa,
Yeah.
right? So it's just a rough, really rough time of year for this to be happening. So, and I do remember another conversation we had that something you told me that surprised me, which was that you didn't like to be a member of the VFW. I know you need to have served during wartime. As
uh yeah, so to be a member of the VFW, you have to have an honorable discharge, and
mm,
you had to have earned a campaign ribbon, like, so the Iraqi campaign ribbon,
right. So
Global War on Terror, Vietnam
right,
Service Medal. So you had to have been in that area and earned either a campaign ribbon for that conflict, or received imminent danger pay, hostile fire pay for 30 days. Um, And Korea service, if you served in Korea for 30 consecutive days or 60 non-consecutive days, then you're eligible to be a member of the VFW.
Okay, so that part I knew. The part I didn't know was that you have VSOs for anyone, though, that you
Oh,
would.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that part I didn't know.
Yeah, so we'll get into the assistant thing of what the VFW does as far as assistants. We're more than just a VFW post. There's a lot more that we do. So we have VFW veteran service officers. We have at least one in every state. Most bigger states obviously have more. So you just go to vfw.org and then go to the assistance tab, and it'll say veteran service officers. You click on that, scroll down the page, pick your state, and determines. Now, sometimes you might not find one in your area, but that's fine. Still contact them, and they will assist you however they can assist you. Most things can be done, most over the phone, stuff like that. But still, if they're not in your area, still reach out and call them, and they'll tell you how they'll take care of you, and they definitely will take care of you.
Okay.
But yes, it doesn't matter if you're eligible to be a member of the VFW or not, and it doesn't matter if you're a member of the VFW or not. Our VFW veteran service officers will file a claim, and it doesn't cost you any money. And last year, they got back $18.6 billion in VA benefits for veterans.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
I mean, that's incredible.
yep.
Because, like I said, I realize I'm a civilian, so I wouldn't know, but I think there's probably a lot of people, a lot of veterans who don't maybe realize if they don't belong to the VFW, that the VFW could still help them.
Right. Exactly. And the best thing about that is, that's like a life-changing thing for somebody. If you go from 0% to even 50, just anything, like even if you get a 0% rating through the VA and they don't give you like an actual like 10% or 20%, if you have 0%, you can still qualify for, some appointments and some medications and stuff like that, which, medications and going to the doctors and stuff is very expensive. So when you get out of the service, you should register for the VA like right away. So you're in the system. It drives me crazy when I run into people my age and they're like, well, I haven't even applied for benefits yet, or I haven't even gone to the VA, or I haven't, I'm like, why? I mean, for all the advocacy that the VFW has done over 126 years, I mean, when you get out, take advantage of the things that, and I know the transition program's much better than when I got out in 2007. It was kind of like, there was some, it was like the beginning part of it, but it wasn't great. And now I see some of the stuff that, that they're doing for the soldiers getting out and stuff, and they know a heck of a lot more than I do. I wish I would have gotten out with that. Yes, they do.
They do, but so that brings me to a good point, though. So the transition services are one of the things that the VA, I think, is not doing during the shutdown, which is why places like the VFW, American Legion, DAV, AMVETS, Combat Vets, all those places, all those organizations, I feel like you guys should really be, and I'm sure you are. I mean, I'm sure falling on deaf ears when I say this, but you really have to be looking out for your brothers, for your comrades now, because that transition thing that you're talking about is not happening right now. Like that part of the VA service was affected by the shutdown.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure that we got people out there doing excellent things to still help them even with that being the way it is right now. So
well, and I'm hoping this helps to maybe reach somebody who doesn't realize, that they maybe really needed that. They or were in the middle of of whatever that plan looks like. I don't know what that service is that the VA provides, but I don't know, is it like, cold turkey? It just ended. You were in the middle of whatever and it just ended. And so now you're out there floundering, right? So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that, maybe someone hears this who, realizes, oh, I can go to my VFW or to one of those other organizations, even, and that, there's people that could maybe help me transition.
Yeah, for sure. For
So,
sure.
I heard one time that for veterans who went immediately from high school to the service, when they came out, they're not transitioning back into society. They never were part of it.
Yeah.
They don't know they don't know what it's like. I remember even when my son went in the service, he said, I had to become a man and a Marine all at this very same time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's yeah, serving and getting out. I'm glad it's a lot better now, but still it's still not easy. Still not easy.
No,
It,
because like then he went to college, and I think it was very bizarre because he was going to college then with people who had just got out of high school.
yeah.
And it was just, you know,
Yeah, that was the way it was when I finally did, when you before this is another thing another great thing the VFW did for as far as advocacy goes. You used to have to use your GI Bill, you used to have to pay out of pocket and then get reimbursed.
oh wow.
So you know how it is for, tuition and books and stuff like that. It was like I just didn't have $4,000 saved up. And I was going to a
Right.
community college. I wasn't trying to go to like Clemson University or anything,
Right.
I was just going to a community college. So, the VFW, well, not I say a few years ago, but some years back, but not too long ago, had the post 9/11 GI Bill, advocated for that, and it got through. So now you don't have to come out of pocket um, to
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 go.
start college. You can go and I don't know how I'd never used it that way because I actually use Voc Rehab. So if you're 30% disabled, if you have a 30% VA disability rating, um, you can use Voc Rehab. It's vocational rehab. So you'll go down there, meet with the counselor. They'll sit there and have you take like a test to see what you're good at.
Yeah, I've
And
never
they'll
heard of
say
this.
yes. So that's what I used. So I basically had to take this test. Basically, like going through. It's like basically like going in and having somebody determine like what's good, what it would be a good job for you, what would be good for you to use this money to get educated, so that once you get educated, you don't have to get retrained because it'll be something that you like doing, or it'll put you in the ballpark of where you need to be.
Kind of like when you go in the service and they're deciding what your
Right.
MOS.
Yeah, like your ASVAB test. So
Mm-hmm.
I went down there, and of course I knew I wanted to go to culinary school because I basically had done that before I joined, and even while I
Ah,
was in, I did some bartending and stuff like that. So, um, definitely one of my favorite things to do. So I already knew what I wanted to do, but I took the test, and he gave me a few options, and there was a few things. I mean, I looked at welding, and I looked at I think, yeah, I was just welding and culinary arts basically was like what came up, and I said, yeah. I said I'm gonna do the culinary arts thing, so I got all set up with that. But so yeah, I just would go down with a voucher to this college. They would sign, write down all the books I needed. They write down the cost, and it was like, here you go. And they would contact them, and all my stuff would get paid, and I didn't have to worry about it.
mm-hmm.
And then they would take, at the end of it, they took some money out of my GI Bill, but it wasn't a lot. I still had I think I had the 30 grand, and I think I paid in more money to get it. So I had like 45 grand altogether. I still had like 30 some $1,000 in my GI Bill that I used later. So um yeah, that's a really good program. Now probably should use the GI Bill first, because once you use the voc rehab, unless you can prove that you should be retrained again, I don't think you can. I don't think you can use that again. But I'm not really, like I said, I'm not a VA expert, so I just do membership.
So that's the
But
beginning.
that's something that you can do, if you have 30% VA disability rating, and the higher your rating gets, the more there is. And like I said, I don't know all of them, but that's the VFW VSO can help you with all that.
Okay.
So, and like I
That's
said,
good for people to
oh, so go
know.
ahead. So yeah, because of the VFW, we have that. You know, the VFW also advocated for the forever GI Bill. Before when you got out, you had 10 years to use your GI Bill. Now, you can use it as long as you want to, and you can have your spouse. You can have your spouse use it, or you could have your kids use it. So that's another good thing, as far as advocacy for the VFW goes. So
See, and I think that's sometimes, we used to go to our local VFW, a lot when Lexi was younger, and she absolutely loved um, the VFW. I mean, she loves veterans. Everybody knows that, but I I don't think people realize, so many times they feel like, oh, it's just older people there. And you're a good example, Ed, that not everyone that's there, I mean, and there's not anything wrong with that other than, you know, there's a shelf life for all, there's Lexi. There's a shelf life for all of us. So
yeah,
if
there
you
she
don't
is.
start to recruit younger people, you're not going to have a VFW. And so I feel like it needs to be said that it's not, you know, it's not necessarily that there's nothing there for you. Maybe you have something to give them, right?
Right.
Like, don't think of it as, oh, there's nothing there for me, because
Yeah.
it's not all about you, right? So your whole motto of, veterans still serving, most veterans really do, especially ones who are, I hate to use younger or what, like, not
Yeah.
meaning if they're older they don't still serve, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Um, there's so much for them to provide, but the mere fact that if you think of yourself as an advocate for change, I don't think everybody understands the amount of things that these veteran organizations do in government, and bills that you get passed or participate in, changes that you make, that you really are the boots on the ground in government.
Yeah. Well, we are one of two congressionally chartered veteran organizations. We are the oldest. We were established in 1899 by Spanish American War veterans, who basically said that we need to have a group of like-minded veterans to provide comradeship and take care of each other. So that's how it all started. Basically, the VA wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the VFW. A lot of legislation, that has been advocated for to help veterans, has come from the VFW. So we every year we have a seat in front of Congress in March. It's called our legislative conference, and our commander in chief this year, who is our first female commander in chief, Carol Whitmer out of Iowa. I'll be seeing her
Mhm.
this weekend, so that'll be cool. Um, they testify in front of, like, recently, the last couple of years was the PACT Act. Um, they weren't going to pass it, and I remember we were at our convention. They put up a QR code, so when you become a member of the VFW, you automatically are enrolled into voter voice. So if things like that happen, like legislation that we're trying to get through for veterans or stuff that they're trying to take away from us, Basically a message goes out to every member. You click on it. It populates because we know where you're located at, so it populates your senators, your congressmen, uh, you know, women, congresswoman, congressmen, whatever, being
Mhm.
politically correct. Um, and it just has like the VFW message, don't pass this, pass, you don't even have to type anything, and you just make sure all the information's correct, and you hit send, and that
Wow.
goes directly to them, which within normally 30 minutes, you hear a response back from them. Because of the PACT Act, I mean, it was crazy. We sent, I mean, you got like so many messages going to them, and then also phone calls. It's basically said that the VFW melted down their phone lines for 3.5 hours. So it took
But look
like,
what that did, right?
I
I
know.
mean,
It's just, the leadership of our commander in chief and our DC team, they're really good at what they do. And I can't even come close to comparing to any of them because I don't really understand that part of it. That's really not my wheelhouse, but man, they do such a great job. Anytime something comes up, it's just they're on it. Last year, our DC team was in front of Congress, or they had to testify in front of Congress, I think 10 times for different things. So it's just amazing. And it's really good. I mean, if you join the VFW, you're automatically in a group that has your back. You know, they're going to make sure that you're taken care of, and that the benefits that you earned are not going to be taken away.
right. Well, and the other thing is Frank just commented again that I guess his local VFW, even though he's not a member, he's like, they have great fish fries. So
Yeah.
so it's
Hey.
important for people to know, like, you guys do a lot of things in the
Oh,
community. Like ours does a big Halloween. It's probably the biggest Halloween event that has
yeah.
nothing to do with veterans. I mean, as far as like, it's for the whole
Right.
community. So you don't just do things for, you know,
Yeah. Well, the VF.
your
I mean,
veterans, but you do things
yeah,
for the community.
exactly. And yeah, if you leave the VFW hungry, it's your own fault.
Mm-hmm.
Is when I tell you they cook for an army, they cook for an army.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we do a lot of stuff. So we have our every year we have our day of service. So each post will register to do a day of service project. Some of it is cleaning up highway, adopting a highway, cleaning that up, cleaning up a cemetery, putting flags out on Memorial Day at a cemetery. I mean, the list varies. It's so much. There's so many. There's 6,000 posts out there in the VFW. In the United States, the Pacific areas, Europe, Italy. I mean, and there are even some in Puerto Rico. We have one on Guantanamo Bay. So all those posts just take one day a year and do what we call day of service, and just go out and show the community what we do. And that's
Hmm.
that's a really good thing. I mean, of course, they do that throughout the year,
Right.
but
I
we
mean, that's just one
actually,
day, but I mean,
yeah,
that's you do
the
it.
month of May is designated as our day of service. So I mean, throughout the whole entire month of May, all the posts are out there doing something with the community.
Hmm.
So it's really cool.
Well, I will have to like check out our local VFW in Burlington because that's where our trees are,
Yeah,
and be like, hey guys, can you come do blah blah blah,
yeah.
whatever.
Well, hey, that's a community service project for
It
sure.
is. It is. We have a lot
Yeah.
of opportunities for that we could partner with the VFW with our nonprofit. And May's a busy month for everybody who's you
Oh, it
know
is. Well, you got Loyalty Day, you got Armed
Memorial
Forces
Day.
Day, and then you got Memorial Day. I mean, it's May is just full of really is just a heavy veteran month. I mean, you
Mhm.
celebrate your armed forces, you celebrate your country, and then Loyalty Day, and then you celebrate, you honor the dead that died overseas, and it's really May is always like a super duper month for me. It's always crazy. Just the amount of stuff that I do during. Well, I don't do as much as I used to do, but still do a lot.
So the Burlington VFW last year, I guess it was this year, and on Memorial Day, came in. We had a big event at the gallery in Burlington, and they came in, and we did a salute for like a wall of fallen veterans, and they came and marched with one of our board members is a veteran. Her name's Rhonda Clark, and
Wow. I think I remember
we
seeing
did
the
that.
video of that.
Yeah, well, we do the Not Your Chair
Yeah,
salute for the
and
22 Navy veterans.
I really like that.
We have
That is
not done that with the VFW yet. Hint, hint,
wow.
hint. We have
I
we've
thought,
done the
well, they did.
chairs, right?
Well,
We did.
yeah, it wasn't really a VFW event. It was Hero Stock, but I think they saw it.
They did, but we actually do it very different now. Like, remember how we just had the chairs set up?
Yeah,
We now
now you have
actually,
somebody honors. Yeah, that's really that. When I first saw that, it's kind of like something similar to what I do on Memorial Day. Is I put a big jar on a table
mhm.
and a bunch of buddy poppies around it, and all the veterans that served that lost somebody over there, they grab a poppy and they can take as long as they want to and put as many poppies in there as they want to for as many people as they lost and say, in their head what they want to say. If they want somebody to, it's kind of like
I
a really
love that.
emotional. Yeah, it's really emotional thing.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds bad that I'm saying, oh, I love that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's a really,
yeah, it's a healing thing. I saw that years ago and I really liked it, and so I keep using it.
yeah, I've never heard of that actually. So we had our local, the Kernersville VFW. You know how you guys do those big buddy poppy.
Yeah.
You make the whatever they want to
Oh, the
create.
for the convention, the Buddy Poppy.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, that
So
is pretty cool.
they had Dennis Wright went, and some of the things that our post had made, he, you know, made a donation or whatever towards those things, because you have to do something. I mean, they would accumulate over time,
Yeah,
and they wanted Lexi to have them, and she has a special place planned for them in one of our windows, and they're beautiful. But shout out to Lexi for always looking out for you guys, because I know she's always listening to this podcast. She's met you, as you know.
yeah,
I wish I would have sent Tracy that picture so they could show that, because that was such a great memory of her with your big WWE.
yeah. That was awesome. We'll have to get another one of that, or we'll definitely next time we meet up. I'll definitely have to bring the belt.
Yeah, that was, those were good times. It really, really was. But
Yeah, so for assistance with the VFW VSO and the financial assistance for service members, we also have student veteran support. You can veterans can apply, or I think not exactly sure, so you'll have to go to the website, but under vfw.org and then under the assistant tab, there's also that you can get a $5,000 grant to use towards college. And like I said, go on there and read all the. I don't know all the fine print. I've never used it before, but I know a few people that have gotten that. So you can use that $5,000 for whatever you want, and you don't have to pay it back. So that's at the beginning of all the semesters. That's when the grant program opens up. So like I said, just go to vfw.org and just research it a little bit, and then under the advocacy tab, you'll see our priority goals every year. What our commander in chief and legislative team in DC is going to testify about in front of Congress. That'll change.
mhm.
That'll Carol's priority goals will be coming up soon of what she wants to do for her time when she's got to do that in March. And then you can see you can see all the different things that the VFW's done over the years, as far as that goes. And then under VFW community, we have combat tested gaming. It's on Discord. So if you're on Discord, if you're a veteran and you served, you can go on there, and it's a gaming system that's veterans only. So you can, I like I said, I'm not on it, but it's really taken off the last like 2 or 3 years. It's just amazing how many veterans are actually using it. So and then there's also posts that are starting to make their own gaming rooms. They just had one, a grand opening in Texas, and there's a lot of other posts that are going to start doing it throughout the country. So that's something, that's another thing. The VFW, a lot of people think it's a smoky bar. It's not that way.
There's a lot more to it.
So yeah, we are transitioning into the new generation of VFW, but it takes time. And it's gonna, things are going well. I really feel that, the generation that came before us is helping us with the transition of moving forward into the next. So it's around for the next 126 years, which
and that's what's required, right? I mean,
hopefully I'll be dead and gone, and the VFW will still be around.
I'm sure. I'm definitely sure it will.
Yeah.
So, we have like 5 minutes left. And then I want to close with a song that Tracy wrote and sang. But before I do that, I really do want to thank you, Ed, for coming on and sharing, why people should really consider visiting the VFW, right? Whether you visit it as a veteran who's a combat veteran to join, yep, or whether you go to see if, they can help you with your, benefits, or, as a VSO, to find a VSO.
Yep, you just go to vfw.org. There's find a post. You can find a post as far out as you want to, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 miles. You can find out how to find out the information for the service officer in your state. And you can find out about all the other programs I told you about. I couldn't even do this in an hour. I wouldn't be able to. It'd be like a three-part episode.
You really are a great advocate for this, though. You're like a recruiting guru. I know that for sure.
Yes, I do like signing up new members.
Right. And there's not any place I've seen you that I haven't seen you recruit. Like literally, I've never, ever been at, and I've been to several things that you've been at.
Well, I'm sitting at home right now, and apparently I got to recruit. So
see, there you go. So, yeah, I mean, seriously, like I've never been anywhere that you haven't recruited someone. So, and yeah, like I said, here you're on the show, and Frank, we're holding you to that that you're going to become a member tonight. So, but I really,
Frank.
Yeah, I really want to. And Frank is he's just finished the second book. He's done a podcast. I'll send you the links. You can listen to his show as well. But cool. We are going to have you. We are going to have you back on, Ed, because we want you to tell us your military story, because I have heard it. It is a great story that a lot of people would connect with you on that. So I do want you to come back when Tracy's on, because her son is also a combat veteran or combat service member who's, no longer with us. And of course, our chief, his son, Tai, the Washington State Freedom Runner. Serving, active Army soldier. So there he is.
I know. He showed me, he told me about it before I came on. It's really cool.
He's an amazing, he actually asked Lexi to go to the prom next year. How sweet is that?
Oh, Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm going to be starting my own podcast soon, probably next month. It's going to be called Hua Nation. So I would definitely like to have him on, and of course you and some other people. So
Well, he would definitely love it. I mean, I would love it as well. But so we're gonna end it with a song. And I think we're gonna do we have Anthem, Chief, or Ray? It's called Raise It Up. He's different. Tracy has different songs loaded on here, so I'm not sure which songs. Okay, Frank, I'm going to hook you two up. It says, see you folks. Have a great remainder of the week. But Frank, I'm going to send your information to Ed so that you two can connect. Thank you for chiming in, Ed.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm walking through changes, I'm standing here now. Life, love, our country, the stories they tell of heroes who served and never came home well. Two flags flying high in the sky. Oh, glory waves don't
This has been a Patriots Inside the Wire production. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Two-Step Tribe, where you, the viewer, are always the rock star of this show. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share. We cannot do this without you. Your uncle says so. You are loved and appreciated. Sergeant Two-Step, sign us out. Let's load up, roll out.
Two flags flying high in the sky. Oh, glory waves, don't tread on me right.
This has been a